Hi guys and welcome back. I'm Adam Thomas. Thank you all so much for being here. Today we're going to do a 3-minute Thursday, super quick one on how I do water droplets on my roses. So let's jump straight into it.
Start it up.
So the first thing you want to do is get yourself into Procreate. So we'll open that up. Now I've just got a rose. It's going to be the most straightforward thing to put water droplets on. Obviously you could add these on top of skulls, on top of anything pretty much. But for me, because I mainly deal with roses, we're just going to bang a couple of water droplets onto this rose just to show you exactly what I do. So I'm working off an A4 canvas. My rose is a lot bigger than what I'd normally do, but it's just gonna make life a little bit easier just to show you guys exactly what I do. The main thing you're looking at is where your shadows are falling. That's where the shadow from the water droplet is gonna also fall. You don't want it to be going in weird and wonderful ways. So this one's pretty good. We've got some really nice strong shadows, so it should be fairly straightforward. So you wanna go up to the top, click the brush tool. For me, I use the soft air brush. Now you can use any brush you want, but to follow along with this, if you use the soft air brush, it's what makes the most sense for me. From there, just change your coloring to black. And then size-wise, we're probably gonna want it about sort of 10%. And then opacity-wise, we're probably gonna wanna be about 20%, just so we can build it up, as opposed to putting a big solid line in straight away. So we're gonna choose a nice petal. You're gonna want something that's fairly flat, and just so naturally that water droplet's gonna sit on there. So we're gonna choose this nice big one down here. So now that we chose the petal, what we're going to do is just go up to the layers tab and we're just going to click new layer. This way we can adjust the size, so it doesn't really matter what size we do. We can just adjust that and get it to fit and sit wherever we want. And then we can also duplicate that and put it onto other petals. So now we've got that layer 2 made. Let's hide that. So we're going to start off by doing sort of like a U shape, which is going to be the bottom heaviest part of the shadow. This will all make sense once we've finished it. So once you've watched this, go back and re-watch it. Everything should become fairly clear. So I'm just gonna start putting in just this bottom shadow. And like I say, I'm not too worried about the size. This is mainly just to get the look of it in. So because we're on 20%, we have to build that up a few times, but it means we can control exactly how dark or how light the shadow is gonna be. So that's gonna be our heaviest, darkest shadow. So we're just going to drag that out just a little bit, just to give us a little bit of cast. And I'm paying attention to where the shadows are falling on the other petals, just so it looks like it kind of makes sense. Again, we can adjust that by nipping back in with the eraser or adding more sort of shadow and highlights at the end. So that's going to be the bulk of the cast from the water droplet. So now we've got that U shape in the shadow. We're going to do, in essence, like a W shape. That's going to hold our 2 highlights at the top and the shadow that's being cast on top of the droplet itself, not from the droplet, which is what we've already done. So a little bit above this, we're just going to start making this sort of W shape. So this is going to dictate the height of our water droplet as well. So once we've got the bulk of that in, we're just going to drag that down just a little bit, just to give us that feathering with the shadow. That's going to start giving it shape and volume, giving it that nice sort of like curvature of the droplet. So once we've got that, we're just building this up nice and smooth, nice and even, just so we're getting that nice soft shape to the droplet. Now once we're at this point, we just want to start messing around with the tones just to get everything to look a little bit more shiny, so it looks like a droplet. So if we go back up to the color picker at the top, we'll just change that to white, still on the airbrush. Just going to make the size just a fraction smaller, so like 5%. And we're just going to bump up that highlight at the bottom, so that's just above the shadow. So that's going to be the little fracturing light. It's just nipping through the bottom of the droplet. We're going to bump up the little highlights at the top. So in essence, you're drawing what looks like a smiley face. So if we zoom that back out from a distance, you can see how with fairly little effort, you've created a water droplet. Now, if we want to change the size or position of that, We go onto the layers, make sure that we've got that water droplet layer selected. Click the arrow tool. It's going to bring up our boundary box, and then we can just pinch and pull that wherever we want. Make the droplet bigger or smaller. Go back into the layers, swipe to the left, click duplicate, and again we can just move that and just drop other droplets in wherever we want. Really straightforward, really simple, but incredibly effective. So there you go guys, that was really quick and easy little tip on how to do water droplets on roses. Like I say, it's really easy, but really effective. It's the way that I do my water droplets on anything, not just roses, on any flowers, skulls, anything that has a little water droplet. For me, I find it breaks up any boring elements you've got in, say, like a rose, any big leaves, big open spaces. That's why I'd look to place them, just to break things up and make it look a little bit more interesting. Hopefully you've taken something from this. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to my channel for more quick and easy videos on how to make your tattoos better. And with all that being said, I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.